We are on our way to our next topic. And of course, lingos, ways of communication, and even the use of office space and its developments has changed drastically with the emergence of technology and the millennials. As they say nowadays, the struggle is real. But here to share their perspective, he is the holder of one of the key leadership positions in Nestlé for the last decade and a half, and she is well known for her career in journalism in Indonesia. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the President Director of Nestlé Indonesia, Mr. Dharnesh Gordhon. And of course, Ms. Najla, the journalist.
Que te acuerdes si no estás conmigo. Despacito, quiero desnudarte a besos despacito. Firmo en las paredes de tu laberinto. Hacer de tu cuerpo todo un manuscrito. Quiero ver bailar tu pelo, quiero ser tu ritmo. Que le enseñes a mi boca.
Hello. Yeah, today it's not a TV interview. It's only like some kind of discussions about the mobile marketing management, and here we are. At the first time, we heard about the marketing strategy, about the mobile digital and so on, but actually what is the key success of doing the business itself? Now we have our President Director, Mrs. Dharnesh Gordhon from the Nestlé. Yeah, as we know, Nestlé is attached with Indonesian market for so long, right? And today we are facing the digital era, the digital marketing era. And actually, what we'd like to hear from you is what have you changed, what to do to ensure Nestlé, and how to win actually the mobile digital itself.
Thank you, Najla. Good morning, everybody. Maybe before I start talking about what we've done to try and win, and please understand the word try. It's actually a pity that we all have to be here to talk about this. Why should we even have a discussion around mobile marketing or the use of digital? And why do we have to drive awareness and actually encourage and sometimes push people, especially marketers, to invest money behind a medium or a multiple mediums that connect with consumers? It kind of doesn't make sense to me. So the first thing I did when I arrived and meet my new team, and I understood what was going on, I said, let's go back to what should have been done at all times. Understand your consumer and connect with your consumer. So that principle and foundation should not change. Because sometimes we get so caught up in every fancy new gadget and new thing that comes along in every new fashion that we forget about the most basic, most important thing we have to do as marketers. And that is connect, understand what our consumer wants, know how to talk to them, and connect, and offer the value proposition that we want to offer. So that's the most important basic foundation. Now when we come to mobile, sure, it is, the mobile phone is probably one of the greatest inventions of all time. It is probably the fastest accepted new product on a mass scale in the history of mankind. I think even more than a toothbrush. So, why? What is this thing called mobile and how are people using it? And it's not a mystery because we are consumers. We are shoppers. So we know how we use it. So just be pragmatic about an approach and think, how do I want to be talked to? How do I communicate? What would make my life easy? And I have a colleague who's the head of Japan, and he always uses this line, what is the problem that a consumer or shopper has that I can bring a solution to? Okay, so that's the big fundamentals of marketing. So I think now you have to create an awareness that mobile is so powerful a tool of engagement, and you shouldn't be even telling people maybe you should use mobile. You should be insisting, because it is the most obvious medium and it's the place where you should spend the real bucks of marketing. That's where the real money should be spent, because that's the most amazing device that connects one-on-one people. It allows us two-way communication, it allows multiple forms of engagement, and it allows mass commerce. It allows, I mean, the number of handbags and shoes that are sold on Instagram in Indonesia, I'm sure people understand. So I think it's starting at the basics of what a marketer should do and not get caught up in new stuff is the first discussion I had with my team. And then say, okay, so now, why is mobile so powerful and why is it so important? Has got to do with the fact that consumers and shoppers find it the most engaging tool. Now we have to figure out there's many ways, and there's lots of nice terminology around how inventive and creative it is becoming. And I think it also has allowed you, if you think about apps today, I mean, you go back 10 years, nobody was having apps. Now you have an app for everything, even how to breathe, So I think it's and then personally, obviously, is also me arriving on the 21st century myself, making sure I consume my news via Twitter. I have Instagram. I don't post too much, but I like to see what's happening with everybody else. I use it more as an internal engagement tool. So mobile is not just for marketing. So I think it's kind of showing by example in a way and encouraging, because it's quite interesting that you have to encourage a company that is 153 years old company, and we get new people all the time, but we seem to have structures that are in a way bureaucratic or in a way formalized, that because you've been successful in a certain way of doing things for so long that there's nothing pushing you, there's no burning platform for change, and I think this is the issue.
Okay, this one maybe could be the example for other organizations too. As the leader for your company, actually, which one do you choose? Using the generalist or specialist to see the mobile living could work on your company?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, because the getting talent in a company, so you in a way, in an ideal world, a marketer should know everything about how to reach and connect with the consumer. But where the pace in which new stuff is coming around, we need to be creating centers of expertise and centers of competence that allow us to become, you need a teacher to teach. So that when we all become teachers, we all cannot become teachers, because we always have something new to learn. So I think this has been the challenge. So if you do it from a financial accounting perspective, no, why should I create separate departments, and we have to worry about the budget, and everybody should learn. So principally, yes, but I think it's important to have specialists in order to propel an organization forward and to create the sense of urgency on the one hand, but also when you have stuff that is happening at such a fast rate, the ability to absorb and learn new things all the time is really difficult for everybody, because people also have stuff that they are doing to make the business continue moving forward, while at the same time learning crazy new stuff. I mean, I learn new things, and some terminology that I don't even understand when I see even the slides from this morning. So I need to rely on specialists myself to be able to get knowledge. I think you need teachers. We all need teachers for something. So it's important to have these specialists. And the whole reason is so that we all learn new stuff. Because when we are generalists with everything we are doing, we are running an organization, but we need these teachers to help us with learning new language, learning new ways of doing things, learning new behaviors, etc.
This is very interesting. If we back to the 10 years before, if you want to buy something, for example, the Nestlé products, we have to taste it. We have to learn from mouth to mouth about the experience of the products. But now we're back to the digital era. So how you integrate and embrace new technology platforms to your company?
I'm so glad you talked about this, because food and beverages is so intimate. Because you see a new product online doesn't mean I'm going to go run to buy it. So it's really important that we understand that in order to connect, I need to create an awareness that I have launched something new or something has changed, but none of us jump out of bed. I've got to go buy this. Oh, Nestlé has launched a new cereal called Nestum. Everybody, the whole of Indonesia has to run out of their homes and go buy it. It's never going to happen. So I need to create the awareness. So it's important that the experiential side of food and beverage, particularly as a category, is maintained and reinforced. Because a consumer, you and I, when we don't just buy something, okay, we experiment with some stuff, but we want to taste, we want to smell, we want to experience stuff. So it's important that that element is intertwined with a mobile strategy. We cannot just say, okay, everything is just about mobile. We have to straddle across both sides.
Okay, so the way you integrate with the new platforms itself for the Nestlé and how you develop the digital banking itself for Nestlé in the next future, of course. I mean, like, today we're facing the digital era. So there are shifting between the old era in selling, and now we're facing the digital platforms itself, and how you becoming the first, you boost the mobile living itself for your organization.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting that if you just look at different levels of the organization, one is internal employee engagement. You know, in the old days, everyone would wait for a monthly newsletter or a quarterly magazine, and that comes out and where people learn about what's going on in the organization. So then we move to, we send emails or we have a website. But today, you can know every second what's going on. So because engagement is such a powerful thing for an organization, because if your people are engaged and they feel that they are included in stuff, we move forward. So using it, employee engagement, sharing stuff. Hey, so-and-so has done an amazing job. This person got a promotion. Just stuff that's good news about people like to hear. So if somebody in a factory in Karawang wants to know what's going on in head office, must they wait for 2 months later or for somebody to put it up on a company website? So the way we use social media today is just a powerful tool. And then even at the basic level of sales, and the way sales has to become more and more transformational, more and more embracing digital, that the sales guy's time is not spent on administration. It is actually spent engaging with the customer, not doing lots of reports, taking lots of orders and all the other stuff that people have to do. So how do I get rid of this bureaucracy, and how do I allow mobile and digital to give me more time? I mean, this is all it is. It's about, the race is about time. Everything we do can it save us time? And somehow the challenge is, the more time we save, the more time we are spending on mobile, tweeting or posting Instagram. So I'm not sure what we are going to do with the time, but somehow we have this obsession, human beings, to get every solution we look for is to save us time.
Okay, and this is one more tip that probably most of the organizations would like to know. This is about how to optimize the media spend and ultimately build deeper relationship with connected consumers. How?
I don't know. I'm hoping so. Look, I think this is going to be the biggest challenge, or the biggest question is how to optimize. I don't know. I think we need to, we just know, we feel. And we're only going to know if we experiment much more. So I think there is a hesitance in a way from my team to try new things. And maybe it's also my fault, because I always talked about the return on investment, and we know 50% of marketing money is wasted. The challenge is most of us in the room and most of us in Nestlé do not know which 50%. So I think when you talk about embracing digital and mobile, what it does, it allows you to measure things in a much more powerful way. So you now can see your returns. But I think we don't know enough, because we also have to think about in a specific category, in a specific type of business. So there's no one answer. But I think even within food and beverage, in Nestlé, my coffee business has different dynamics to cereal. It has different dynamics to Bear Brand. So getting to understand each of those brands and what will trigger consumption, what will trigger purchase, what triggers even the awareness. So I think my short answer is we just got to try new things and learn, and hopefully we, by luck and some chance, we hit on the right model of succeeding in a specific campaign or specific brand.
Okay. Now, probably my last questions. How you see this era nowadays and how to compete with the mobile living itself nowadays?
Yeah, I think the how is really based on if you keep the philosophy or the most important value of any marketer, and that is going back to a consumer has a need and a want, how do I satisfy, how do I connect? So start there. I think the pace in which technology and AI and all of these things are happening, I mean, it's really frightening. I'm now afraid to open Instagram because they know what I shop. So every new technology gadget, I'm getting an advert coming up on Instagram. So somebody knows too much about me. So I think
Somebody read your mind.
this world is changing at a rate where we've got to be aware, and we have to open up our minds to embracing new things, but at the same time always go back to what is the most basic foundation and principle of marketing. If we forget that and we get caught up in all the sexiness of all the new technology and mobile, we will not continue to do our brands the value that it should have, and we will not continue to sustain and grow our businesses profitably.
Okay, thank you very much. This is a very short sessions with Mr. Dharnesh Gordhon. Give big applause today. Yeah, but at least we got all the insights, we got all the tips how conducting the business in this mobile living. Okay, come back again with this pretty lady.
Yes, thank you very much. Can we have another round of applause for Mr. Gordhon and Ms. Najla? Thank you very much. And we would like to give a token of appreciation, of course, on behalf of MMA. Thank you very much for your support. That's right, we'll give it for ladies first. All the best, and thank you very much. And once again, also for you, Mr. Gordhon. Thank you very much. All the best. Can we have another round of applause? Thank you.